All right, welcome back. It's no secret, babies do not come with a manual.
No.
And for many first-time parents, that means desperately going to Google MD for answers.
That's where the Mayo Clinic Guide to Your Baby's First Year's Steps steps in. Dr. Kelsey Kloss is a top Mayo Clinic pediatric expert and lead editor of the book. She's joining us now to talk all about it. Fascinating topic, Doc. Everybody's talking about it, including Nicole. She went through it.
Well, thanks so much for having me on the show, and glad to be here with you today.
So what are the top 3 things that these new parents are worrying about?
I think all parents worry about the same 3 things, which is everything. But really seriously focused on sleep. How can I get my child to do more of it, especially at night? Am I feeding my child the right thing? And am I doing the things to promote their development, their growth? But really sleep, feeding, and development seem to be the big ones for all parents.
Has parents, the advice over the past decade changed, or is it still status quo, remaining the same?
I think that there's been a lot of changes for parents, and you mentioned Nicole has just been through this as well. As a parent myself, I think one of the challenges is what you referenced, which is where do we get our information from?
Yeah.
And there are so many different sources that are all absolutely certain that this is the one right way. And has that changed? Well, there's more opinions coming at every parent as a result. There are things that have changed. There are things that have not. In the last 3 decades, we've learned a lot about safe sleep, for example, that has not changed recently. How to feed babies, of course, over past several decades has gone from breastfeeding to, oh no, every baby needs formula, to back to breastfeeding, and here's how to choose healthy formulas, safe formulas. There have been so many changes, but I think really that just so much information and technology is really the biggest change.
Yeah, it seems like we're overwhelmed and overloaded by all the information out there. Even scrolling on social media and seeing a story on Instagram, it can be a lot of noise going on. And, obviously sometimes we look towards our elders who have been through this, right? And sometimes I go to my mom or I'll call the doctor, and I'm so literal, and I feel like my generation is very, very literal. We want that evidence-based guidance. But my mom continually tells me, well, you're smart, like, you know your children. What are your instincts? What is your intuition saying in this situation? You don't need this black and white proof to try and back something up. What is your take on that?
I think that's such a great question. Really, there are things that are evidence-based, and we want to take advantage of scientific knowledge. And so in the book, that's what my colleagues and I really wanted to highlight is, where do we have evidence-based recommendations? And in those other spaces, we should be able to say, there's no evidence to say that this is the one right way, or that what we're doing is wrong, or that this is the only way to do it. I also think that telling parents, trust your intuition, well, I think it's great, right? We know our children as parents, but it's also kind of a burden, right? To say, like, this should be intuitive. You should just know. And I don't believe that either. I think sometimes we do, and that comes with experience. And so really what I think is helpful for parents, what I know is helpful for me as a parent, is to know what's evidence-based. What are the things that I need to do to keep my child safe and healthy and support their development? And then what are the things that are some other options? And what are the things I should be thinking about? And then choose what works for each individual family.
The role mental health plays in being a great parent. I'm sure this is huge.
Absolutely, it's huge, especially as we have seen diagnoses of anxiety and depression increasing in all age groups over the last several years. Being a parent can be really isolating. And we know, so going back to what's evidence-based, when parents' mental health isn't taken care of, there's impacts on children and the whole family. And so one of the sections of this book in this new version that we really sought to update was looking at parent mental health, helping to identify what are some common conditions beyond. So expanding kind of discussion about postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and really looking at what are some of those things that clinical signs that should catch attention, and where to go for help.
We have about 30 seconds left, Doc, but can you answer this question quickly? What should a first-time parent stop doing immediately for their own peace of mind?
Using social media.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
No, that's a great answer. It's wonderful, but it's also detrimental too. So
there's two sides of everything. It's great for photos, but not always, as you said, the best source of information.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
The Mayo Clinic Guide to Your Baby's First Years, third edition, is available now on Amazon and wherever books are sold. For more information, please visit mayoclinic.org.
What a great conversation. I think she needs to come on Mommyhood Unscripted.
100%.
Continue that conversation. Awesome.